This is an instructional video for the Rothenbuhler Engineering Model 1685 remote firing device. In this segment, I'm going to be going over the advanced feature to include the sequential firing mode and how that's programmed and utilized. For this demonstration, I'm utilizing these test lamps to simulate electric blasting caps or whatever tools so you can see when they're firing. I have them all turned on right now. I'm going to go ahead and arm all of them because they're all selected already. And while that's arming, again, you have the ability to fire each remote one at a time. You can go and select whatever remote in whatever order you want and fire that one at a time, or we can do the sequential firing mode. So right now they're all selected, all armed, so I'm going to fire them all at the same time. Okay, so that's kind of a no-brainer there. If I want to go into a sequential firing mode, I do so by doing the following. I press the time button at the bottom. Or else you'll hear me refer to that as sequential firing mode. The Model 1680 had this ability, but with the Model 1685, it made that feature so much easier to use. And I can, again, just by pushing the button on it. And then two lights come on when I do that. One is the on button for that timed or sequential firing mode, telling me that feature now is enabled. And the time LED light below that is flashing green, and that frequency that flashes is the same duration of that delay. In this case, I have it programmed for a half-second delay, and I'll show you how to change that. But it's a nice visual indicator of what your delay is going to be, and again, that mode is turned on, so there's no surprises when you press that fire button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to arm them again. Once they all report back that they are in a arm condition, they'll be ready to go. So it's always going to start with the lowest number remote. In this case, from left to right, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. One's going to go right away. Then there'll be a half-second delay between the subsequent remotes of them firing. It would look like this. Okay, so again, very simple, easy to use. Now let's say I want to change that delay. I can do half-second increment increases for each of the numbers I have on this remote. Meaning, to go in and change that duration, I turn the controller off, I hold the timed button down while also pushing the on button, and this enters into the sequential firing programming mode. The amber select light up here is going to be next to whatever delay that I have it set at. Again, each one of it is a half-second increase. Number 1 is a half-second, 2 is a second, 3 is a second and a half, 4 is 2 seconds, 3 is 2.5 seconds, and 6 is 3 seconds. Any of those are options. So for this demonstration, let's say I want to change it to a 2-second delay, which would be number 4. To get this light to flash and able to move it, I press disarm. Okay, now that the light is flashing, it means it's selected to change. I press number 4 to put it over there. And to lock that in, I press status. So now I got that solid light next to number 4, which is the 2-second delay. And you'll also see that this green flashing button has now slowed to flash once every 2 seconds. Again, that visual indicator of what your delay is. And this will stay with that program delay until I go back in and change it just like I did. So I'm going to arm them all. And while it's arming, I want to remember that because I turn it off and back on, when I go to fire this, I want to make sure I turn that sequential firing back on. I want to make sure I see that light on and get that feedback right there in my face of what my delay is, so I know there's no doubt that it's in sequential firing mode. So now when I go to fire, again, one's going to go right away, and you're going to see it's a 2-second delay between each of the subsequent remotes, which makes it really nice. Appreciate your time. Thank you.